All right, everybody. That was a jam-packed day. I'm glad to see you're all with me. We have hundreds of people have tuned in over the last 2 hours to watch all of these talks and these panels. So thank you for being with me for all of this, guys. I really appreciate it. So yeah, you heard from Audio, you heard from Songkick, you heard from Chartmetric, you heard from Luminate, you heard from BandLab. My participants, so you're going to have access to the Songkick data, Chartmetrics premium subscription, as well as access to Luminate for the duration of the weekend for your working your projects. So that's really exciting because you have a lot of great stuff that you can do. And those that are spectators this year, hopefully this is motivation for you to want to be a hackathon participant next year because they're really cool. They're really cool platforms. So I'm also thrilled that I finally got to the two panels I've been dying to do. So our data-driven A&R panel and our pop culture panel. I am so glad I finally got to do those because those were as much fun as I thought they were going to be, and some of our most highly watched sessions throughout the day. So now I'm going to wrap things up. So drop any questions you might have about anything you saw today. Things like that, feel free to drop them in. We have some time now, so I can answer them as opposed to when we start the show because I don't have time. So if you have anything, just feel free to drop a question in, and I'll make sure that gets answered for you. Hackathon participants, we're going to have our own session right after this, so no need to ask questions about the hackathon in there. We're going to have a Q&A on Zoom right after this, so you can ask any of your questions about the hackathon, and I will give you more information about what you need to be doing. Everyone else, the programming is done. So you have a chance now to meet each other. I've seen you guys all exchanging LinkedIn profiles in the chat, which is very, very cool. So you can meet each other face to face in our speed networking session. So right after this, I'm going to open up our speed networking for Friday night, where you'll get matched up with 5-minute intervals with various people, spectators, participants eventually when they get out of our Q&A, speakers, whoever else, spectators, etc. All will be in the networking. You guys can meet each other. Participants, if we wrap up early, you'll be able to join the speed networking as well, but there's going to be tons of opportunities for speed networking all weekend. We have speed networking every day this during the conference. If it's late where you are, don't worry. Like I mentioned, there'll be speed networking every day. So Saturday night and Sunday morning as well. Well, Saturday night my time, Sunday morning my time, and then work backwards from the UK where I live. And if you decide you don't want to do speed network, if you don't want to be social tomorrow, we're doing tech startup pitches, as well as a great deep dive into analytics tomorrow, which is going to run simultaneously to our networking expo. Our networking expo is where we'll have our artist and company career fair, our sponsor booths, as well as our community booths. So tomorrow you have a big opportunity to be very social, or a big opportunity to continue to be very nerdy, or you can split up your time and check out a bit of both. So yeah, I'm going to get to the questions that we have before I kick off with the participants. All right, so what do we have here? Cool. Brian, we don't have a code for Chartmetric, but there's a free trial for Chartmetric, so you can give it a shot. And if you're a participant, I will explain how you have access to Chartmetric for the weekend shortly. So networking, you're going to see it right in the conference space that you've been seeing everything else. So instead of watching people, you're going to interact. You'll see it pop up probably in like 3 or 4 minutes once we wrap up here. You'll see it and you'll be able to click through and get yourself all sorted. I don't remember if I mentioned at the top, but just in case I didn't, we're going to be using the same platform for speed networking all through the weekend. It's the same platform for all networking for the weekend. So once you log in once, you'll have the same login and same profile for the rest of the duration of the conference. So I highly recommend that you connect with Google or connect with LinkedIn to log in instead of trying to use an email address, because much faster to just connect with Google and just a lot less hassle basically. And once you do that, you'll be in. You can create a profile. You can add your interests. You can add a bio. You can add a headshot if you want, or you can just not do any of that. Up to you. But you'll have various ways to engage with people between our speed networking that will take place tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. The networking expo that will take place on Saturday, and the after party that will take place on Sunday night. There'll be lots of opportunities to connect with one another. Oh, hi, Levon. I'm sorry. The spaces are open for about 6 weeks each year. So if you find that you're interested, well, still interested for 2026, our spaces open up in January. And they close mid-February every year for the hackathon. They open up weekly, so everyone has an opportunity to get in there. Um, what's their name? Networking. The networking is going to show up in the conference platform. So where you're watching all this, your next talk is going to be the networking. And so you'll see a link in there. You'll be able to head right over there. Any other questions? Oh, awesome. Well, I hope you've enjoyed day one of Measure of Music. Participants, like I mentioned, you're going to have a Q&A session next where you're going to meet our mentors, and I'm going to answer some questions about the project. Spectators, I hope you've had a fantastic time here today. It seems like you did, which is great. I'm excited for day two tomorrow, and have a great time meeting one another in the speed networking. Thank you all so much. See ya.